A great new action film from India is now playing in theaters, and I've got my thoughts right now. Hello everybody, I'm Dan Murrell here with my review of a movie I actually didn't anticipate reviewing on this channel, but that's one of the great things about having a channel where I can kind of do whatever I want. Yesterday I went and saw a movie from India called Kill, which is playing in a little over 800 theaters nationwide this weekend. It's also getting a release in India and other countries, and I was so excited by it that I said, you know what? I got to review this movie because that's part of what I love to do, is to go see movies and recommend them to people, especially movies like this one that might not be on your radar. Kill is a Hindi language action film from director Nikhil Nagesh Bhatt, who also co-wrote the screenplay. It premiered at last year's Toronto Film Festival, but got a worldwide release this past weekend and has already been picked up by David Leitch's 8711 Entertainment for an English language remake. Kill stars Lakshya in his feature film debut as Amrit, an army commando who boards a train to Delhi while attempting to elope with his true love Tulika, who's planning to run from an arranged marriage set up by her wealthy family. When the train is invaded by a group of 40 criminals who are looking to rob all the passengers, Amrit decides to fight back to protect Tulika and the rest of the passengers, using every ounce of his commando knowledge to overcome the impossible odds and get everyone through the journey alive. I'd heard a little bit about Kill coming into this weekend, but it was really the news that 8711 had picked it up for a remake that put it on my radar just a little bit more because, you know, when the production company behind the John Wick movies sort of endorses an action movie and says, hey, we got to remake this, that's generally a sign that there's something worth watching there. But Kill exceeded any expectations that I had by constantly keeping me guessing about what was going to happen next and about just how far both the good guys and the bad guys were willing to go in order to get what they want. The movie actually lulled me into sort of a false sense of complacency at first. For the first, 40, 45 minutes, I was thinking, all right, this is a pretty standard action film. It's well made. The action's not bad. It sold me on why I should like the characters. It's not that I didn't enjoy it. I thought, well, this is obviously India's take on the sort of John Wick thing, this Snowpiercer meets Die Hard concept. And so I guess I can see why 8711 picked it up because they want to take the premise and expand on it. I was enjoying it, but I also thought, okay, yeah, this is an action movie. But then, Kill makes one of the best turns that I've seen in a movie in a very long time. And it's not a twist. It's not a plot twist. It's just a pivot point. A point at which it kicks things into an entirely new gear. And I know it sounds cliche to say my jaw dropped while watching it, but my jaw did actually drop when I realized what this movie had been doing. It had intentionally been sort of telling you it's this kind of thing before revealing what it actually is far further into the runtime than you would have anticipated. Needless to say, from that point on, Kill is an absolutely unrelenting and intense action movie, a bullet shot out of a gun that doesn't stop until the credits roll. It's a pretty brilliant structure, and it's helped by how it uses its setting, which is almost entirely on the train. This is not a luxury train like we saw in the film Bullet Train. This is a standard passenger train in India, which means that the aisles are narrow. On each side of the aisle, you have sleeping and sitting berths that are places for villains to lie in wait, for heroes to lie in wait. You never quite know what's behind that curtain or what's around the next corner. It is such a great use of the setting, and they employ it well. It could be easy for a movie like this to be one note because it is all mostly on this one train, but it constantly changes where the characters are. Are they going forward? Are they going backward? Which car are they in? Are they backtracking? It's such a great use of geography and knowing where to put the different characters so that you understand where they are and how to use that space and to keep things interesting. It feels claustrophobic, but it also adds to the intensity of the movie and the suspense, because you have Amrit and you're thinking, well, how can this guy defeat this many bad guys in this kind of setting? As Amrit, the actor Lakshya is a great action hero. I do cover Indian cinema quite a bit on Charts with Dan, but I'm not incredibly familiar with it. So watching the movie, I just assumed that this guy was already an action superstar. Finding out afterwards that this was his first movie was really surprising because he feels so comfortable in that role, and he's able to really be whatever the movie needs him to be in a particular moment. Sympathetic, romantic, scary as hell. If this is any indication, I think that he has a very long and successful career ahead of him in Indian cinema, action or otherwise. The character of Amrit is also a great protagonist because he's not invincible. We see him hurt, we see him bleed, we see him get overwhelmed and fail. He's vulnerable but also seems unstoppable because he has a purpose that's bigger than himself. This is basically about a group of small-time crooks who unintentionally create their own personal Jason Voorhees. And this movie does actually feel at many times like a slasher movie. The difference being you're actually rooting for the slasher. He has that same kind of theatricality. He has that same kind of inevitability to him, but he's the hero of the movie. Amrit can be sadistic, but it's not an unearned response. And when brutality is called for, he is not afraid to deliver. And the violence is really aided by some really good prosthetic work and real blood effects and some great stunt choreography. It all works together to make this feel like it's really happening. You can practically smell the blood and the sweat in this movie. And trust me, there's no shortage of either. Given his commando training and chiseled physique, it's hard to categorize Amrit as an everyman in the tradition of John McClane, but that doesn't make him unrelatable. After all, we've been rooting for John Wick across 4 movies, and given his background and his training, he's one of the most unrelatable action heroes as far as what he does versus what the everyday average person does. But relatability isn't necessarily about the background of a character, it's about why that character is doing what he's doing. And on that front, Amrit is an incredibly sympathetic character who's fighting in ways that we can't relate to for reasons that we absolutely can relate to. If it were just Amrit on the train, as great as he is, I think the credibility would have been stretched a little bit too far, but he also finds some allies along the way. He's traveling with his best friend, who's also a commando, and there are also a few train passengers who step up in critical moments to help him out. And that's another thing that I love about the movie is it also addresses the sort of everyday heroism that's needed to fight evil. It can't just be the action stars by themselves. Real people also need to step up. I actually like that they come in and help him out of a few jams, and I think that it showcases in an oddly kind of touching way, which is weird for a movie this brutal, the best of humanity, which is this instinct to do good, to be a helper. I think those are the best instincts, at least, and I think it's the ones that everyone should aspire to. As with any movie about good guys versus bad guys, it helps that the bad guys are very hateable, led by the reckless son of the gang's leader, Fani, played by Raghav Juyal. He is a particularly loathsome little weasel who commits the cardinal sin of a bad guy in a movie like this, arrogance. He thinks he's invincible, and he thinks he's smarter than everybody else, and those are 2 fatal flaws that his entire crew ends up paying for. I really, really liked this movie, and I can say without reservation that I think Kill is the best action movie of 2024 so far. Great movies aren't bound by country or geography, and in a fair world, Kill wouldn't need an English language remake to be a huge hit in the US. But with few exceptions, most distributors don't have faith that world cinema can succeed at scale here in the US, and I actually applaud Lionsgate and Roadside Attractions for giving this movie as wide a release as they did. It's not technically a wide release, but it is available around the country, which is a lot more than some distributors would have done. Having said that, I don't think that Kill is probably going to be available to watch theatrically here in the US for a very long time. This is the summer movie season. Theater owners are going to want to turn those theaters over for bigger American blockbusters that are going to make them more money. And I think that this is a movie that's worth watching on the big screen. First of all, it has great sound design. I think it looks great. It has a fantastic score that really knows when to ratchet up the tension, and it's great to hear it coming out of a big sound system. And I think that this is a good crowd movie. I saw it in a theater where I was the only one there, and I think that my experience would have been even better had there been a large crowd, because there are moments where you like that reaction, or you have that applause moment, or people gasp, or all of those things about the communal viewing experience. This movie has that, and I think that you should give yourself a chance to experience it in that way if you want to. Because I think this is a really good movie and because its release window is likely so short, I'm giving Kill a see it now rating on my personal scale. Don't wait for the remake, see this version, and when it blows up in a few weeks or a few months, maybe when people are able to watch it at home, you can be part of that vanguard. You can be part of that chorus saying like, oh yeah, I know, Kill is an awesome movie. And you can also be one of those people that's out there like me telling people how great it is, because that's how a lot of great movies get discovered. They're watched by people who tell friends, who tell friends, who tell friends. Kill is worth seeing, and I think you'll find that it's definitely worth telling your friends about. So those are my thoughts on Kill. What do you think? Have you seen it this weekend? Are you gonna go see it this week, which I highly recommend? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching the channel. Stay tuned right here. I'll be talking about box office and more movie reviews, movie news, etc., as I always do. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you then. Bye.